The Paramount era has not met the expectations us fans have been looking for. The cards have been mid, and the production has had too many technical issues, weird camera angles, blackouts, and the audio not working. Paramount legit crashed during Holloway vs. Oliveira 2 in the third round, and to be honest, these numbered cards have not been good. And I'm going to rank all the cards that have happened in the Paramount era from UFC 324 all the way to Evloev vs. Murphy, and starting last at number 9. Three, two, one. And I'm going to be ranking every single card from UFC 324 all the way to Evloev versus Murphy. And starting at number 8, I gotta go with Bautista versus Oliveira. This was the first fight night card of the year, and to be honest, it just wasn't that good. The only good fights that we probably had was Mario Bautista submitting Vinicius Oliveira, fraud checking him nasty, Kyogo Horiguchi putting on a masterclass performance against Amir Abazi, and the rest of the card wasn't that good. Farid Basharat went to a split decision against Gene Matsumoto in a really close fight. We had Dustin Jacoby knocking out Julius Walker. Daniil Jonchenko, I thought he was going to knock out Alex Morono. He didn't, but it just shows how crafty Morono is. Nikolay Vertekniov knocking on Nico Price. And now Nico Price is fighting Michael Chiesa in UFC Seattle. UFC Seattle's not even looking good, to be honest. That is so many canceled fights. Horrible card, to be honest with you. The only thing we're going to care about is Adesanya versus Joe Pyfer. But, yeah, this card just wasn't that good. Javid Bashra just taking Gianni Vasquez to a decision and getting cut after. And then Muin Gafarov just losing this fight in like seconds left. He just taps to Jacob Whitlatch. Just wasn't a good card at all. I'd put that on number 8. Now, at number 7, I know this might be recency bias, but honestly, this card was just awful. It was just awful. Evloev versus Murphy. I gotta put this at number 7. This card was just not that good, man. And it could be recency bias, but to be honest with you, it just wasn't exciting. Chanel Dyer, she gets a KO, performance bonus as well, when I think they should have gave it to Danny Silva. He comes in here fighting a really hyped prospect too, and knocking him out, sliming him out. And I'm here thinking Curtis Campbell, everybody hyping this guy up from England, the Pink Panther, debut main card, custom shorts. He just gets slimed out by Danny Silva. But honestly, the prelims weren't good. You had Shamrock, who also had hype coming into the UFC, now has 2 losses in a row and just doesn't look good out there. He's probably going to get cut. We had Montes going out there and not even knocking out Tricoli. Like, how do you not go into the I knocked out Tricoli fan club? Like, I don't get it. Pinto, he's one of my favorite heavyweight prospects, but he had a disappointing performance. Nathaniel Wood, crafty vet decision win. I predicted that to happen. This was literally the only good fight on the card, to be honest with you. Mason Jones versus Axel Sola. Right now, it's looking like fight of the year because of recency bias, but these guys went out there and they gave us at least a banger of a fight to enjoy in this card. But the main card, just kind of a disappointment too. I thought CLD was gonna go out there and knock out Delitze, but Delitze was on shenanigan mode. Like, he was just doing just weird shit out there. And then we had Iwo Baranowski knock out Austin Lane in 10 seconds. That's literally what you're supposed to do when they give you a layup like that, so good job. One of the most boring fights I've ever seen, dude. Michael Venom Page versus Sam Patterson, dude. Like, honestly, just cut MVP. Like, if he's gonna be boring like that and complain about not getting a ranked opponent, you might as well just cut him from the sport. I mean, not from the sport, but from the promotion, honestly. It's just not worth watching. I literally thought Luke Riley was going to lose because there was like a Scouser curse. We had Curtis Campbell go out, Shamrock lose, and then Luke Riley co-main event, but he just goes out there and does what he needs to do to get the win. And then Evloev versus Murphy was just a weird fight, man. What a weird fight. Like, I would not have thought that fight would have gone like that. I feel like the UFC told Evloev, like, you can't shoot a takedown. You have to win by, like, KO or win by finish. And the fight was just weird overall. Then they take away a point from Evloev after the second groin shot when the first one didn't even land. So, yeah, it was just really weird overall. They both looked like dog water out there. Like, honestly, Volk, Gene Silva, and Lopez goes. They kill them. All three of them kill them, bro. Let's be honest, dude. Evloev and Murphy, man, they looked really bad out there. And I gotta put this at 7. I would have put it last, but Vinicius Oliveira versus Bautista was just way worse. At number 6, I have to put Moreno versus Kavanaugh. Honestly, not that good of a card, bro. Not that good of a card. The only thing that probably made this card really exciting was Loner Kavanaugh going out there and probably having one of the biggest upsets this year and beating Moreno all 5 rounds, dude. On short notice, too. What an amazing performance by Loner Kavanaugh. Now he's like ranked top 6 in the flyweight division. Flyweight is really exciting. I can't wait for the Joshua Van Tatsuro Taira fight. It's going to really shift the flyweight division, but we'll see what happens. David Martinez getting a win versus Marlon Vera. Marlon Vera just cut him from the promotion as well, dude. Like, what are we doing out here? He just doesn't look good out there. Zell Huberg needs to be cut. If anything, Zell Huberg needs to be cut. He's lost to 2 Onks already in Bobby Green and Michael Johnson, dude. You might as well just cut Zell Huberg. Edgar Chairez, Edgar Chairez going out there, split decision against Felipe Boons. Emmanuel Rodriguez getting a KO win against Kevin Borjas was probably the highlight of this card, besides the Loner Kavanaugh win. But everything else, Grandra just knocking out Medina. Finally, Medina gets cut after this. Aylin Perez, she does get a win against Macy Chassian. After, it's just the card wasn't really that good, dude. The card wasn't really that good. UFC Fight Night Mexico, you know, all the Mexican cards, dude, all the Mexican themed cards, they just haven't been that good. But yeah, congrats to Loner Kavanaugh on making a statement on this card. At 5, I had to put UFC 326. I know some of you are like, oh my gosh, dude, why do you got UFC 325 at, come on, why do you have it so low? First of all, the prelims were not that good. Bellato, yeah, he gets a KO win. That was a good win for him. He needed it. But after that, it just wasn't that good until we got to Alberto Montes submitting Ricky Tercios. Great win by Montes, but Tercios, I really don't rate him like that anymore. And then after that, just a horrible fight right here in Dante Johnson versus Cody Brundage. Dante Johnson, he almost got fraud checked by Cody Brundage, dude. And if he would have gotten fraud checked by Cody Brundage, you'd have to cut him from the sport. Garbrandt versus Zhao Long was such a weird fight, dude. This card just wasn't that good. The main card kind of saved it. That's why it's kind of high on my list. Gregory Rodriguez flatlining Bruno Ferrer to get his revenge back. Drew Dober, you know, the memes are still alive. Him, police brutality, you know, just he wins against every single African American. And then it kind of just died right here with Rojas versus Rob Font. Rojas just laying on top of Font, not doing anything. Rojalio versus Reiner de Ritter, that was such a weird fight. Super sloppy at middleweight for sure. Really sloppy fight for middleweight, honestly. But middleweight, you know, not the best division in the UFC. And then we had Holloway versus Oliveira, and yeah, it was dominant. You know, it was a dominant performance by Oliveira, but for the BMF belt, you kind of want an exciting fight. And it wasn't exciting at all, so I had to put it at 5 on my list. But next up at number 4, I don't even know why I ranked this so high. I guess it was the Strickland performance, but Strickland versus Hernandez, I have it at 4. Honestly, these 3 fights right here, featured fight, co-main, and main event, saved this card from getting bad, from being really bad, to be honest with you. Strickland, beautiful performance against Anthony Fluffy Hernandez, literally getting himself a title shot. Like, him getting a finish literally got him a title shot. And yeah, dude, it was beautiful to see just him go out there and finish Fluffy Hernandez like that. Even though I picked Fluffy Hernandez to win, I still love Strickland at the end of the day, and hopefully he gets it done against Khamzat Chimaev, even though I know he's not going to. Jeff Neal getting the snot knocked out of him against Urals Medic was crazy. Makwelze Costa knocking out Dan Ige with a roundhouse kick to the dome. Like, that was beautiful to watch. And then you had Sergey Spivak beat Ante Delija. Jacob Smith go out there and literally almost kill Josiah Harrell. Jacob Smith showing that he's a good prospect. Weird fight right here, honestly. Carlos Leal versus Njokuani was crazy. Njokuani versus Leal was a crazy fight. This fight was okay. Probably gonna cut Ode Osborne from the... I don't even know if this fight was okay or not, but they better cut Ode Osborne. But then after, it wasn't a good card, to be honest with you. It was a good card because of the main card, but then, honestly, just the prelims weren't that crazy good. Jocelyn Edwards did avenge her loss against Nora Carnal. Yeah, dude. Honestly, Phil Rowe finally loses again, gets cut. Yadier Valdal, really crazy fight right here. Not crazy fight, but like Jordan Levitt going out there and fraud checking Yadier Valdal. You know, upset win. Yeah. I ranked this card pretty high because of the main card. Main card definitely got it up there. But moving on, at number 3, I have to put UFC 324. To be honest with you, UFC 324 at number 3. I'm thinking back at it because when we started the year and then we started going through some of these cards. And now that we're like 8 cards deep into the year, and I know we're going to get better cards later on, but thinking about it, I was like, damn, UFC 324, it wasn't even that bad of a card if you really think about it. It could be higher on this list, but you had an Adam Fugit getting KO'd by Ty Miller. I think Fugit's now out of the UFC. Hoke KO win against Denzel Freeman, and now he's gonna fight Curtis Blades on UFC 327 in the Miami card. This wasn't even like a crazy performance win for Josh Hoke, but the fact that the heavyweight division is so dead and they have him fighting Curtis Blades is just crazy. Alex Perez coming in as an underdog, beating Charles Johnson, that was crazy. Nikita Krylov coming in as an underdog, beating Modestas Bukauskas, and I had Modestas Bukauskas winning this, but now I don't even think I could rate Modestas Bukauskas like that. Atemba Gutierrez doesn't finish Andre Pulayev, but now he gets Ozzy Diaz, dude. But whatever, this card, I rank it. It was pretty decent. Umar didn't finish Davis Figueiredo. That was sad to watch. Gene Silva versus Arnold Allen was an okay fight. Gene Silva, just ends up putting himself in a really good position after this, because after Evloev versus Murphy, I think Silva might just jump Evloev and get a title shot. I'm gonna be honest with y'all. So honestly, this performance for Gene Silva really got him to the title shot. I'm not gonna lie to you. If he gets it, I think he is gonna get it though. This was a boring fight right here. Nobody cared about it. Cortez Acosta knocks out Derek Lewis. Sean O'Malley versus Song Yadong, really close fight. Sean O'Malley edges it out. A lot of people were screaming robbery, saying that Song Yadong won it. And then you had, honestly, what made the card really good was Justin Gaethje coming in as an underdog against Paddy Pimblett and beating Paddy Pimblett to a pulse, dude. And honestly, I picked Gaethje, and I was so happy I picked him, because in my head, I knew Paddy Pimblett was, Dana White privilege. He's hyped. His resume is not even that good. I don't even know what the UFC is gonna do next with Patty. Like, you can't put him against Max Holloway because if you do, he's gonna get pieced up by Max Holloway. You can't even. I don't even know what they're gonna do. They're probably gonna put him with Dan Hooker, if anything, just for him to get a win, a bounce back win. But yeah, I have UFC 324 at number 3 so far. It was a pretty decent card. I'm not gonna lie to you. At number 2 though, obviously, it's between Emmett versus Vallejos and UFC 325. And I put Emmett versus Vallejos at number 2. Now, this also could be recency bias. I'm not going to lie to you. But this card was pretty good. I'm not going to lie to you. It's one of my favorite cards so far this year. Vallejos goes out there. We are Team Kevin Vallejos, by the way. He gets the knockout win against Josh Emmett. He puts himself in a really good spot. I hope they either give him... I'm pretty sure they're not going to give him Gene Silva, but Yair Rodriguez, if anything. Maybe Murphy. Like, I don't know. I think Vallejos, he's probably a couple wins away from getting a title shot now, the way the featherweight division is looking out. Gillian Roberts gets a win after Lemos was cheating out there with the, back of the head shots. Close fight right here with Fili and Delgado. Delgado's, he gets the win. I'm still a little hurt because I'm an Andre Fili fan, and now he's lost 2 in a row, so I don't even know how to feel. This was a crazy fight right here. Obviously, it's not Mason Jones versus Axel Solo, but these guys were going out there swinging at each other, and Hardwick broke, his jaw broke. That was a crazy fight. Upset right here, nasty upset. Kutalaba getting a submission win against Umar Sy. Now Umar Sy has 2 losses in the UFC. He's 1 away from getting cut. Charles Johnson versus Bruno Silva. Close fight. They gave it to Johnson. Orobay just manhandling Chris Curtis on the ground. This was a pretty fun fight. I hope people, don't forget about this fight. Victor Petrino versus Steven Asplin. These guys were out there swinging. Petrino's jab is like a piston. Busted up Asplin's face. Asplin showing that he had takedown defense, though. I love this fight right here. This was a really good fight at heavyweight. Elijah Smith going out there and submitting Su Young Yu. And he lost the first round. Smith lost the first round. Comes back out there. And he knocks this guy down. Gets the back. Gets the rear naked choke. Manuel Sosa knocking out Balaji Oki. Flatlines him in the 3rd round. Eric Anders riding off into the sunset. Retiring. Getting a win. Bia Mesquita. Batty. Gets a submission win in the 1st round. This card was pretty good, dude. That's why I have it at number 2. I was this close to having it at number 1. But literally a couple minutes before I made this video, I literally had to put UFC 325 at number 1. And the reason why, and honestly, thinking about it, after we had the 2 pay-per-views and then we started getting the fight nights, I was thinking to myself, bro, this card is not even that good. But then looking back at it, this was probably one of the best main cards we've had all year, to be honest with you. I know the main event was a little boring. This was a little boring of a fight, but it's probably one of the best fights we've had on a numbered main card. Like, to be honest, out of all the main cards that we've had on a numbered card, this was probably one of the best ones besides, I'd say besides, Gagey versus Patty. I think Gagey versus Patty was a little bit better than this. But, Volk just going out there and doing what he does best is great to watch. And him just getting the belt again, beating Father Time. I think that's kind of why it's like number 1 on my list. But also, he had Benoit St. Denis go out there, and Murad his way to a finish against Dan Hooker. Mauricio Huffy getting that crazy KO against Fiziev. I know Tuivasa versus Taliesin Teixeira was a sloppy fight, but it was kind of fun to watch. And then Quillen Sadkill going out there and submitting Jimmy Malarkey, even though, this was like a throw-up fight for him. Like, he was supposed to do that because Rong Xiang, he fell off. But then you had Billy Alakana submitting Junior Tafa. Cam Roston beating up on Cody Brundage again. And then you had Jacob Balcoon, bro, going out there and you know, having a good win against Finney. Jonathan Metcalf submitting Oban Elliott. And then the early prelims, I didn't really watch the early prelims like that. But honestly, without the early prelims, if you look at the rest of the card, it was pretty decent. And it's an Australian card. Australian cards are not that good. But I feel like this one was pretty decent enough to at least be number one on the list so far in all the fights that we've had in the Paramount era. But let me know what you guys think in the comments. What would you rank all the cards that we've had this year? And let me know what you guys think about the couple cards that we have next. Like, I know Adesanya versus Piper's not even that good of a card. I don't know what we have after that. But let me know what you guys think in the comment section. I'm J-Neps MMA. Like and subscribe, and I'm out.